News coming in. A teenager has been charged in the Parsons Green terror attack in London. Remember that 30 people were injured on Friday when a bomb partially exploded on a rush-hour District Line train at Parsons Green in London. Yesterday, the British police released the two suspects in the case. And I'm joined by our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark. Mandy, thank you very much for joining me. What more updates can you give us on this story?
We know that he was the teenager that was first arrested. He was a person of interest very early on and arrested when he was trying to make his escape at the port of Dover, if you recall. That was just on the Saturday, the day after the attack happened. He is from Sudbury, which is an area of Surrey. It's a residential area, and he lived with adoptive parents. That's what we know about him. He was responsible for trying to create that bomb that thankfully didn't go off particularly well. Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack, but there's no confirmation from British authorities that it was indeed Islamic State. We do know there was a terror network at play who taught him where he learned those bomb-making facilities in an attempt to conduct that terror attack. Not a lot more information on when he'll face court, but it is important that they have enough information then to take him to court at the minute.
Thank you, but one thing which really keeps striking me, the word teenager. Repeatedly I hear the word teenager. What does it mean? I mean, why a teenager should kind of do something like that?
I think that's a very good question, which can be multifaceted. There is a number of factors that can leave particularly teenagers vulnerable to this extremism death cult. And some of it is an isolation and inability to feel connected to their own community. So a lot of terror groups, when they're out trying to recruit, they really hone in on people who don't feel a connection to the society they're in, that they do feel isolated, they struggle to make friends. We've seen this repeatedly as a recruitment tactic. In the past, ISIS said, well, if you don't fit in, that's because you don't, and you could be a foot soldier for us. So you see a lot of these isolated teenagers are attracted to this type of mentality in a way that it's a group that they can belong to. Now, we don't know how he got recruited and how he ultimately got radicalized, but we have seen that pattern when it has become teenagers who start spending a lot of time alone, not mixing with their community.
Thank you very much, Mandy.